Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Cole's Farm. It is Saturday, May 1st, about 1:30 in the afternoon. And if you haven't guessed it, I'm over here at the swarm. I actually witnessed swarm out of one of the hive boxes over in the bee yard last Sunday, I believe. Saturday or Sunday, last weekend. Watched them land in this pine tree over here. And then quickly got a ladder and the swarm box that you see there, finished up all the inspections, and about 2 hours later, 2 to 3 hours maybe, came back over here prepared to have to get on top of the ladder and get the hive, the colony, out of the tree. And much to my surprise, I discovered that within that short period of time they found themselves a new home in the swarm box. So they've been in there entirely way too long. I wanted to come out in the middle of the week and move them into some equipment, but work is work, and I was kind of pressed on time all week. Basically just didn't have enough time to do so. So here I am today, 6 days later, which I believe is the longest I have ever left a swarm in a swarm trap. So I anticipate, if they are a healthy colony, which most likely they are if they swarmed, and they loaded up their honey stomach with nectar to draw out wax when they found a new home, which they have, I highly anticipate that the bees have drawn wax. It's hard to describe. Basically on the bottom half inside the box underneath the frames, if that makes any sense at all. So you got the frames, there's about maybe 9 inches below the frame of just volume, airspace, but when they have ran out of space on the frames to draw wax, they'll continue by building wax basically underneath the frame, which I think is what I'm going to find. So I'm gonna get them unsecure from the ladder. I'm glad that actually worked out. We haven't had any bad weather, so it was really good timing. Get some equipment set up in the bee yard, and then y'all can join me and take a first look at the swarm as I transfer the 4 frames from the swarm trap into some 10 frame equipment. So always cool to capture a swarm, especially a swarm of your own. So no loss there, but let's take a look at the front entrance real quick. Saw a few bees coming and going. Yeah, they are definitely still here, that's for sure. There we go. Yeah, they are here. They have called this a home. So let's get them a little more comfortable in some 10 frame equipment. Alright, over here in the bee yard, as you can see, but I am not ready to move this swarm into some 10 frame equipment because, just wanted to show y'all, I have had my hive stands set up exactly with what you're seeing right here for 4 years now, but I have finally ran out of space, because when you run the 4x4x8s into the cinder blocks like I have here, you can only fit 4 in between, meaning in between the cinder blocks. So I am about to move a whole bunch of hives around, and some of these are pretty heavy. I have any hive that has a super on, I have ratchet strapped the single deeps I can just pick up. I'm just going to set them aside, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the 4x4s out of the cinder blocks, remove this cinder block, and then rest the 4x4s on top of the cinder block here. Hopefully that's secure enough with the storms we have that come through. I believe it will be, because the hives do have some weight to them, and whenever there's storms, hurricanes, or any kind of inclement weather, I'll ratchet strap the hives down anyway. But yeah, kind of curious to see how this goes. I mean, it'll provide me some extra space, as you can see here on the right side of the hive stands in the bee yard. You know, this is just all lost space, and I don't know how wide a cinder block is. That's probably about 6 to 8 inches, you know, times 2, 16 inches. That can easily accommodate 1 more hive. So I'm thinking I can get 5, 10, so maybe 2 to 3 more hives in this bee yard location by moving the 4x4s, just pulling them out of the cinder blocks and resting them on top. So I did this, like I said, this was my initial setup. Actually, this was like version 2. My initial one, I used some other types of wood, and that didn't work out at all. So yeah, first time in 4 years redesigning the bee yard. So I'm gonna do that real quick, probably be the better part of 30 minutes or so. And then when we come back, I will be moving the swarm trap over into the bee yard. I'll have the equipment all ready to go, and we'll take a first quick look at them as I transfer them from the swarm trap into some 10-frame equipment. That only took a few minutes, probably 5. A little winded. Some of those boxes are pretty darn heavy. Let me show you what it looks like now. So this side of the bee yard, as you can see, old design and new design. A little lower. I feel like it is secure. I won't say as secure because obviously this ain't going anywhere, and honestly I don't think that's going anywhere either. But yeah, ended up picking up some of the hives, setting them down on some bricks there, picking them back up, and I'll tell you this much: a full deep, the honey super ornaments, fairly full, quite heavy. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing for this side of the bee yard. Just, you know, why not? I'm out here anyway. And then I'll get the swarm trap moved over here. Since I didn't film the first half of the bee yard, me moving the things around to resituate the stand, I figured I'll film this side, so be prepared to watch me struggle. Alright, nothing to it. Let me catch my breath. That's always interesting to see when you move hives around. It might not seem like a whole lot of flight, like a whole lot of foraging bees, but as soon as you move move or reload the hive. I'm pretty surprised. Alright, I'm just going to clean a few things up, unratchet strap the hives, place some bricks back on top, find a little more space over here, and then I'll go grab the swarm trap, which is just on the other side of the bushes. Alright, small change of plans. So I was just over at the swarm trap, moving the ratchet strap from being secure around the ladder to just the swarm trap. And I noticed that there's quite a few field bees coming and going. And then given the disturbance to the bee yard, since I rearranged the hive stands and everything, and the bees are being kind of angry at me, or they are angry at me, I'm going to wait until closer to sunset. Pretty low light, so I'm not too sure how well the video is going to come out. But I'm going to wait till probably after 7 o'clock, maybe even close to 8 o'clock tonight. And I'm just going to move the swarm trap over to the bee yard and then transfer the frames into the 10 frame. I do have the 10 frame all set up. Right here, it's going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th hive location on the left side of the bee yard. And in fact, as soon as I get done filming this real quick, I'm going to grab my labels and relabel all the hives so they actually reflect the correct number. And I totally forgot that I had this swarm trap, another gift from Mr. David Peed, my bee mentor, who lives 3 miles that away, which is, let's see, hold on, east, west, north, 3 miles north of me, directly north of me. I forgot that he gifted me that swarm trap a few years back, so I'm actually going to get that into the tree over in the corner of the property. So I'll have, once I hang that, I'll have 2 swarm traps hanging. I'll put the one back out that currently has a swarm in it, and I do have another one. Part of it broke off last year due to the weather and everything. It wasn't treated lumber, it was just pretty inexpensive stuff. But I might get that up too, so I'll have 4 swarm traps. Alright, that does it for now. Just keeping everybody up to date with the plans. So about 5.5, maybe 6 hours from now, I'll move the swarm trap over into the yard and transfer the bees into the 10 frame. So very excited to see how much work they've done in the last 6 days. So tune in and check that out here in a little bit. Alright folks, it is just after 7:30. The temperature is 68 degrees according to our accurate 5-in-1 weather station in the backyard. So let's get these bees moved into a 10 frame. There's not as many coming and going as there was earlier today, meaning this afternoon around 2 o'clock or so. So I'm just going to close the front entrance here, and let's get them over into the bee yard, into a 10 frame that I have all prepped for them. Easy peasy. Alright, well, you know, I closed up the front entrance, but because my woodworking is so superb, my swarm traps have many entrances. Alright, so the bees are definitely a little riled up. They know something has happened, me moving them. Let's get the ratchet strap off and then get them down into this 10 frame here. Alright, so I have a 1 gallon frame feeder in here, in-hive feeder, which is advertised to take up 1 frame space, but I removed 2 just to give myself space to work. So we have 4 frames, because again, my woodworking skills are so superior. A 5-frame swarm trap only holds 4 frames. Here, let's grab the camera, do a quick first look. Yeah, let's see, there's a few bees in there. Alright. And as you can see, I do not have my smoker. I don't have my queen marking tool or anything. So my goal is just to get them moved over as quickly as possible. And like I said earlier in the video, I saw them swarm last Sunday. So they've been in this swarm trap for a full week. And I know this probably won't come up on camera because of the low light, but you can probably see the new wax, and all that new wax is filled with nectar. So that's a good thing. This frame's pretty light, but you can definitely tell the new wax being drawn out. They do draw out some funky looking wax sometimes, and yeah, there's the queen right there, and she's marked, so that's no kidding. Hive 6s, I believe, 2020 queen. So that's super cool. Let's get her put back. That is the first time I have caught a marked queen. Oh, this has some weight to it. This is full of nectar. Alright, since I've found the queen, no need to really mess around looking at too much other stuff. So let's get the lid on them. Actually, let me do something real quick. There's a ton of bees on the swarm trap lid, and I can just show you instead of telling you about it. So let's get them in the box. How do we do that? Bang them. Done. Let's get them closed up. And to entice the rest of the bees that are in the swarm trap, which is, it's not a lot, it's a decent amount, I will put the swarm trap in front of the colony, in front of the hive. And that should entice the rest to move into the 10 frame. I'll check on them tomorrow. I won't open them up. I'll just walk out to the bee yard and kind of peek down the line just to see how they're looking and everything. And I'll leave the swarm trap there for a few days until the rest of the bees move out of the trap into the 10 frame. But yeah, no kidding. I'm pretty sure that was hive number 6's queen, marked queen, that I witnessed swarm and captured them in the same day, and here we are almost a week later moving them into a 10 frame. So pretty exciting. There's been a lot of firsts this year, so that does it for tonight. I'm glad I waited till later because there's probably a lot of field bees out foraging still, given how many bees were in the box there. So I'm glad I waited till later. Like I said, it's about 7:30. It's probably close to 7:40 now. But yeah, it doesn't take a lot to move a few frames into a 10 frame, and I have no doubt they will do just fine. So hey, thanks for watching Cole's Farm. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Every person that subscribes, that's somebody just saying thanks for doing what we do, and we appreciate everybody that does subscribe. Most of our views come from unsubscribed viewers. In fact, 70 to 80% of our views. So I would like to change that this year and get more views from subscribed folks. All it takes is a half a second to click the subscribe button, and just like everybody says, if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. Let's go down real quick and just take a look at this. Don't pay attention to the marking. I'm going to come out tomorrow and remark all the colonies because they're all kinds of out of order. But this is now hive number 9, I believe, because I'm calling 7. I'm calling this split that I made last week, I'm calling this number 8. So yeah, this is number 9. Super cool. Saw them swarm on Sunday, saw where they landed, put the swarm trap out and recaptured them within a few hours and moved them back into the bee yard, just like you saw almost a week later. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody.